Y'all, welcome. My name is Perry Jeffries with Cash Flow Unlocked. I'm coming to you on a soft Thursday. And if you're watching this video, I'm going to share and teach you how when I say we, me and my wife, as well as our clients who are part of our Millionaire Mentorship Mastermind, and what we actually teach individuals inside our Financial Freedom Bootcamp is how to buy cash flow generating assets with none of your own money. Let me say that again. How to buy cash flow generating assets with none of your own money. So this is going to be a very quick video. Reason being, I'm recording it today. My wife and I just closed on another rental property today. We shared it on social media and people are like, man, how are you guys doing it? So I said, you know what? I don't gatekeep. I want to share this information because I truly believe that if we're going to actually be able to close the wealth gap, if we're actually going to be able to, try to keep the middle class intact, right? Because I do believe that the wealth gap is widening. And at some point in time, it looks like we're going to lose the middle class. Okay. It's either going to be either you got it or you don't. And something we are truly passionate about is helping people become financially free. So let me just give you a little bit of context and I'm gonna get right into the transaction that we completed today. All right. So when I say financially freedom from our perspective, and everybody may be different, but we rock with people who rock with our perspective because we know we can get them to the finish line. Financial freedom for us is a simple equation. It is the point in time when your passive income is more than your monthly expenses. So passive income, more than monthly expenses. Monthly expenses, 5,000 a month. Passive income, $6,000 a month, you are financially free. When you can wake up at the beginning of the year and know that your bills are paid for and accounted for because you've acquired assets that generate cash flow, you are financially free. And what's lovely about this family is you don't have to wait to age 65 to do this. You don't have to be, a millionaire to do this. Anybody can become financially free if you're focusing on the right things. And the right things are acquiring cash flow generating assets. Now, the asset I'm going to share with you today is we purchased another piece of real estate. But cash flow generating assets could be vending machines. Cash flow generating assets could you be creating your own course, selling your book. Cash flow generating assets could be you growing your business. Cash flow generating assets could you be investing in somebody else's business. The focus is, and versus us saying, hey, we want to grow a huge nest egg, we're focused on, no, we want to accumulate assets that do appreciate, which will increase our net worth, but more importantly, give us cash flow today so that we can buy our time back and do things like my wife and I did today. We woke up this morning, all four of us, my wife, our twin daughters who are 15, me and my twin daughters, we were at the gym by 5 o'clock because they train with their trainer at 5:30 a.m. Soon after that, my wife comes in probably around 6 o'clock. So we all worked out at the gym this morning at 5:30, 6 o'clock. Then I got the kids off to school. I came home, met with my team for a half an hour, did a little bit of admin work, and they went and closed on the property. And then me and my wife went out and had like a brunch lunch situation, and I had no other appointments for the day. And I can do this because I've put some systems in place. But what I'm going to share with you is one of those systems. We teach this as part of our wealthy framework. We actually teach this inside our Financial Freedom Bootcamp. So let me show it to you guys because I'm a visual dude. Pull up the whiteboard. Okay. So I know you probably heard like, oh, buying, properties with zero money down and things of that nature. Is it real? Is it fake? Is it social media BS? Like all of these questions. Well, I'm going to show you in real time how we purchased our property today. But first, I got to show you how we set our finances up. So part of how we set our finances up is we leverage the infinite banking concept, IBC. The infinite banking concept is the concept or the idea or the strategy, I should say, more important, the strategy where instead of putting our money in the savings account, right? We store our cash inside cash value life insurance policies, but not just any type of cash value life insurance policies. We store these inside optimally funded, properly structured cash value policies with mutual companies. I know that's a mouthful. Don't expect you to remember, memorize that, or but just understand these are companies that pay a high dividend, and we structure the policy in such a way that when we put money into the policy, the majority of our money, and when I say the majority of our cash, the majority of money that we put into the policy, anywhere between 75 and 85% of that goes to our cash value. Okay. So here's what's happening. We are actively putting money into our cash value policy. Now, the reason we're putting and we're storing our cash inside the cash value policy is because when we have an opportunity to invest or pay off bad debt or, start a business, whatever the case may be, we can access the cash that's inside this policy, but not take the cash out. So this is a wealth hack. This is a wealth principle. How we access the cash is in the form of a policy loan. Okay. So our money continues to stay inside the policy and continue to grow interest, earn interest, and grow, tax deferred and grow uninterrupted. So let's say that for this conversation here, I have 20,000 inside my cash value policy, right? On this 20,000 that I have inside my cash value policy, I have about $900,000 of death benefit. So if something should happen to me, my family gets $900,000 tax free. But we're using this not because of the life insurance or the death benefit. We're using it because of the access to cash. So today we had a closing on a property. And with that closing on a property, we had to bring down payment money. Right. So this is what stops a lot of people from investing, is because they have to make a life decision. So in this particular transaction, we had to bring $18,000 to closing. Now, if you're not using our system or this system, that the Rockefellers made very, very popular, if you will, you would be thinking like, man, I want to do this real estate, but this 18,000 that I have sitting in my savings account, I'm gonna put it all into this transaction, and now I'm not gonna have access to that money anymore. And there are still some other things I want to do, or I'm afraid to put all of my money into this real estate deal in case it goes bad, or whatever the case may be. But in our scenario, we never took our money out the policy. The insurance company actually gave us a policy loan that we're actually using as the down payment. So our down payment didn't come from our pocketbook. Our money is still sitting inside the policy, earning interest uninterrupted and providing my family with a whole bunch of other benefits outside of just earning interest. Very different than your savings or checking account, right? Like how if you were to die today, with your checking account, with the bank who holds your savings account or your checking account, pay your family almost $1 million in death benefit? No, right? If you pull money out of that account to go invest in real estate, will you continue to earn interest on the money that used to be there? No, right? So this is a wealth hack. This is what we call leverage. Okay. So now my money continues to grow uninterrupted inside the policy. We took out, the loan, right? And then we use that money to then go and purchase a piece of real estate. So we brought $18,000 down of the insurance company money, and then the our hard money lender or our mortgage partner came up with the rest. So we were able to purchase the property, right? In this particular property, we purchased for 122,000, and we got about, let me check here, and I'm gonna show this to you guys in real time here in a second. So y'all bear with me here in just a second here. And we also got about 33,000 and rehab costs. So hold on. I want to make sure you guys are getting this. We purchase a property that's appraised at 204,000. That's how much it's worth. We got it for 122, and we have rehab money to rehab it and make it nice so we can rent it out. And we still haven't used any of our own money. Okay, let me show. So you probably like, man, Perry, we hear people talk about this all the time, but show us the real deal, right? I'm a transparent dude. I keep it 1,000. Let me show you the transaction. Okay, I am showing you the loan itself. So this was the loan that was closed today, ladies and gentlemen. So like I said, our purchase price was 122.5. Okay, you see that 122.5, right? Our value of the home was 204,000, right? So that's pretty good. Bought a property for 122 and it's valued at 204,000. We immediately added net worth to our balance sheet. Okay. Now, cash we needed to close the deal was 17,000. And I know some of y'all are tripping like, oh my God, Perry, it's 11.49%. This is a short-term hard money loan. This is just so we can get the deal done quickly because we closed on this deal, I think, in less than 14 days, if I'm not mistaken. If it wasn't less than 14 days, just maybe a couple of days over that. So we closed on this very quickly, which those who can move quickly in this market can actually capture the opportunity. So yep, we are paying 11.49 interest, but we won't pay that interest for long because we're going to go in and rehab the property. And we got about 33,000 or so to rehab the property. So the property be rehabbed in about 6 weeks or so. And my payment on this is $1,000. Well, this is a 3-bedroom property. A 3-bedroom property here in Columbus, Ohio is going to rent out probably around 1,500 to 1,600 bucks. So you do the quick math. Do I care anything about 11.49 interest rate and my payment being $1,000 when the rent is giving me, 1,600 bucks? So that's, or 1,500 bucks. That is $500 a month of cash flow. And that's not even including that the property is going to appreciate. But more importantly, for me, is that buying another property actually provides me with a tax shelter. Because when you start to understand how tax laws work, as far as cost segregation study, as far as my wife being having the real estate professional status, we are going to get a phenomenal tax benefit. So by her buying properties, she's actually making my business income almost completely tax free. So all of this ties together, ladies and gentlemen, right? So here's the deal right here. So here's how we bought this with no money out of our pocket. But I'm going to show you the secret sauce. Check this out. I'm actually going to log into my bank in real time so you can see it. Am I sharing this? Make sure you guys can see it. Okay, cool. So this is my Infinite Bank. I'm going to log in so you can see this in real time. Make this a little bit bigger for everybody. Bow. Okay. So this is the policy that we used where we set up our Infinite Bank. Okay. So currently this policy is giving my family, if something should happen to me, a death benefit of $867,000. So we're just going to round up and call that $900,000. So if I get hit by a car today, my family's going to get $900,000 in tax-free money. Okay. But you'll see here now where I did a loan. So I put in, let's see here, 24,000 over the past, I think 3 months, and put in 24,000, and I was able to pull out 15,000. But check this out, fam. I still got another, $3,200 that I could pull out. Right. And let me rephrase that because I want to make sure guys are understand. Not pull out. I didn't pull any of my money out. I use my cash value, which is a total about 18,000, so as collateral. And the insurance company gave me their money. So I never took my money out. Well, Perry, what is your money doing? My money is still sitting in the account earning interest, uninterrupted, tax deferred. So I'm making money in my left hand pocket and my right hand pocket. So then I took out my loan My loan, they gave me $15,000 that I used as my down payment. My loan is 5.1% on that money, right? I don't know, somebody said like, oh my gosh, Perry, but what about debt? I don't want to pay any debt. Well, here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. This is a non-structured loan. Non-structured loan means what? I do not have a payment. I don't have to pay on this loan ever. Now, will I pay on it? Yeah, after we refinance out of our property, because we're going to be able to do that. Because again, it's valued at 204. We bought it at 122. We only owe 143 on it. So eventually I'll refinance, get out of this higher interest rate, get a lower interest rate, probably around 5 or 6%. And then I'm going to cash out all the money I put in, right? And going to cash out a little bit more equity as well. So by my calculations on here, y'all stay with me. On 204,000, I could probably go up as high as 75%. 153. I owe 143.9. So without including any type of closing costs and things of that nature, probably gonna be another whatever, call it 3,000 bucks or so. Right. So let me go back over here. So, yes, I have two loans. I have the loan with my mortgage company and I have a loan with the insurance company. But my money, my 24,000 is still growing, or my 18,000, I should say, is still growing uninterrupted and earning interest. Now, let's go back to what I said earlier. Yeah, this is a non-structured loan. So Perry, aren't you accruing interest? Yeah, you can see the interest right here from when I pulled the money out, what I'm saying, about a month or so ago to get ready for this particular transaction. I have $92.22 in interest that's accrued. And it's going to continue to accrue interest. Well, Perry, aren't you stressed out about that? Don't you want to get rid of debt? No, I'm not tripping, because here's the deal. If I never pay this loan off, and let's say I don't pay that loan off for 20 years. Okay. 20 years at 5.1% interest means that loan would double, right? So I took out 15,000. If I never pay it in 20 years, that total loan, the principal plus interest is going to be 30,000. Let's say I died in year 20. All that happens is, instead of my family getting 867,000, they get 867,000 minus the 30,000. So they still get, let's see here, quick math, $837,000 tax free. This is how we became our own bank. So yes, we're able to access these funds and go bust a move. So the way our transaction is going to end up, we're going to rehab this property. Then we're going to refinance, pull our money back out, plus a little bit of equity, and we're going to have this property rented out. What I'm saying, giving us about $1,500, right? $1,500 or $1,600 a month. There you go, family. That's how we're able to bust these moves and jump on these transactions, right? Because we're not thinking traditionally. I could care less about 11.49% on a hard money loan, because guess what? If you had to go get a loan right now on the mortgage, it might take you 30, 60, 90 days. You may have missed the opportunity. When we put an offer in on a deal, we're like, yeah, we'll close in 14 days, 20. Only thing that's going to hold us up is the title, or you got something shady going on with the property, right? So when people know you can move fast on a transaction, they'll give you the best price. So we got this property at a good price. We got it, what I'm saying? It's already highly valued. We're going to go in and make it nice for our tenants to come in, because something that's special on my wife's heart is she wanted to be able to provide um of quality. She wants to be able to provide quality, affordable housing. Right. So we're gonna make it look good and do all the things with it. And then I'm gonna run one other calculation over here just to show this to you here real quick. Real estate, bear with me here. Calculator. Nope, I want a mortgage calculator. Y'all bear with me here 1 second. I'm gonna pull something up just to show you again. So boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna call it 204. Nope, we're not doing none of that, because I just want a nice and easy. And that's about 150. So it's valued, the home is valued at 204 at 75%. I'm gonna call it 153. Okay. Date. Let me share this here with you guys. All right, boom. So when we go to refinance this property, right, we know it's valued at 204. Typically on a non-owner occupied property, or fancy way of saying an investment property, a bank could typically give you maybe up to 75% loan to value. So if you take 204, multiply by 75% is 153. So we're probably going to go in and refinance this property at 153. If we do it on a 30-year note, let's say 7% interest rate, our payment is going to be, $1,200, right? And that's, I'm saying, taking into consideration the principal interest payment is 100 or so, property tax and homeowners insurance. So it's estimated about 1,202. And again, we're renting the property out at anywhere between 15 and 1,600 bucks. So we have $400 to $500 in positive cash flow. Passive income, ladies and gentlemen. In addition to that, we also have an asset that's going to appreciate. And the tenant, when they make the rent payment, is going to be paying down the principal on the mortgage. So that's a win-win. In addition to that, because my wife is buying properties and because of her real estate professional status, and if you don't know that, make sure you go Google it so you can understand it. Because of her real estate professional status and us understanding cost segregation and what we call accelerated depreciation, we're going to get a massive tax benefit, which now, yeah, are we super excited about $500 a month? Well, kind of, sort of, because an extra $500 a month is life changing for some people right now, right? So we're excited about it, but I'm more excited about the tens of thousands of dollars we're going to save on taxes because of putting these two strategies together. All right, family. If this was valuable to you, let me know. Let me jump on Facebook real quick and see if anybody got some questions or anything in here, because I'm happy to answer any of those questions. If anybody got anything in here, okay. So be sure to, if this was valuable, like, subscribe, and be sure to share, right? Again, we don't gatekeep. We're here to inspire and educate, but more importantly, to help you implement. If we can do it, you can do it. My wife just started learning how to invest in real estate last year, and she's already closed on 4 properties, 3 of her own, and 1 that she manages for a client out in China, right? So here's the deal. Well, of a family member out in China, right? Where she's the property manager on it. So here's the deal. If she can learn in less than a year how to invest in real estate, you can too, but you have to be intentional. And again, real estate may not be your jam, and that's fine. But the strategy I just showed you, how to use other people's money in the form of leverage, you can apply that to anything. So maybe your thing is you want to buy a truck for your trucking business. Maybe you want to start a restaurant. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you don't want to invest in real estate. Maybe you want to, start an online course. Whatever the case may be, you can use this strategy. And if you want to learn how to use this strategy and really get your head wrapped around it, because it does require a paradigm shift. It requires you to disconnect from the idea that all debt is bad. It requires you to disconnect from the idea like, oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying? I got to wait till 65 to retire. You have to adopt a different mindset. You have to start to think like the bank, right? Matter of fact, now that I think about it, go to thinklikeabank.com. Right. Go to thinklikeabank.com. You're going to have a list of all of our resources right there. Thinklikethebank.com. Right. But this is what we teach inside our Financial Freedom Bootcamp. That's what we teach inside the Financial Freedom Bootcamp. But if you're like, man, Perry, I don't want to just learn it, I want to actually do it. Well, if you want to be coached on this, this is what we do inside our Millionaire Mastermind Mentorship Program, where we help individuals who are ready to go to the next level. And hey, they want to learn it, but they more so want to implement it. And they say, hey, we figured out how to make money. Now we want to figure out how to get financially free. And they get financially free by understanding how to acquire cash flow generating assets in 4 millionaire mountains: real estate, entrepreneurship, infopreneurship, as well as traditional and non-traditional investments. This is the wealth hack, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you make money in your left and your right hand pocket. And again, we just don't talk it. We walk it like we talk it. If this is your first time ever hearing one of my trainings, understand something. Nothing ever comes out of my mouth to say, hey, you should think about doing this if we haven't already done it. I will not make a recommendation on anything unless I can actually show you my account. You can take that to the bank. Like, subscribe, share, right? And then we'll see you on the next video. Peace.